wow. It's
Well,
HeroCon.
thank you for finally showing up, Brandon.
Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. Fuck all you guys. You know why I showed up?
To kick ass and take
No,
names?
no, because we have Eric Zapata here,
That is true.
Hello.
We have
and
very
this
sexy
man
named
right here.
sis.
Howdy.
This man has done some amazing work
Aw.
in the world of makeup.
Thank you, man.
He's famous for being on TV and all types of fun.
We won't say the name of it.
It doesn't matter. We
It's-
can't because legally, I know.
Yeah.
We can't actually, but it doesn't matter.
No worries.
Either way, you've been one of the biggest staples in the Austin film industry. You're known just about everywhere. Not just
that's
because
really
of that,
nice.
but
Yeah.
because you've done you've got a good body of work.
Yeah, pretty
And
decent, yeah.
You're a one-man army, and I've seen you work on, we all have the same circle.
Right, of course.
And I was just talking to you a little bit ahead of this. That whole project that you worked on, you were kind of a one-man army on that.
Yeah.
Like, when you get into stuff like that, how do you've done so much bigger work,
Yeah.
and then you get into the indie stuff. Like, how do you handle that? You go from one thing to the next. You go
Yeah.
up and down, and you run the gamut of everything.
Right.
So, like, is there a certain point you ever just wonder, man, I don't want to do these small ones anymore, but you do them, and you do them with
Yeah.
a smile on your face.
No, yeah. Well, what's cool about the indie scene, especially in Austin, is that they are. It's actually harder than the bigger big budget stuff because when you're working on like a multi-million-dollar or whatever, and you're a part of a very large team of people, which is incredible. And I personally love working on teams, like especially if I'm just a little part of it. If I don't have to be the leader, that's great.
I get that entirely.
If I could just come in and play and like do fun stuff and get paid, I'm a lot happier in that. But on the indie stuff, it's so much more challenging because it's usually smaller budget, of course. So you have to wear so many hats. Sorry, that was my phone. You have to wear so many hats.
I thought it might have been mine.
It's so much more challenging because you're not part of just the foam running department or the sculpting department or the molding department.
You're all the departments.
You're the department head. You're all the people under the department heads, and
you have less time to get things done.
Less time, less money.
Less money, and then they're like, I want to do like these hordes coming out this way, and it's like, well, that's going to cost but we need to do it like $10.
And
$10? Can I just give you $10 so you make the horde?
Exactly.
No.
And it's fun because sometimes it's challenging. You push yourself to figure out different ways to do stuff when you're limited like that. However, there comes a point when you're like, you can't make Star Wars for
I know
for $1,300.
Well, okay. Now, so I know since I've run into you so many times just on different sets and stuff like that. I don't really know before you went on and you had your competition time and stuff like that. How long were you actually how long have you been doing it? You've been doing it almost since I think at one point in time I've heard you tell someone, since you were really young.
Yeah, I started when I was, I've always, drawn and, did little like cartoon characters and stuff, but it evolved into special effects in like middle school when I learned that it was when I learned that there was a Tom Savini school out in Pennsylvania, and I was like, wow, there's a school where before at that time I didn't know you don't need a degree in this industry like at all, especially in the makeup effects industry. Like you can just teach yourself at home, or you can go out to LA and live like a street rat for a little bit, but learn so much in such a short amount of time. So I started doing it back then, but professionally I've been doing it for about 5 years. So
I could have sworn. I've more than 5 years. I thought I'd heard of you around.
I had started right when I got out of makeup school, which was like 2010. I got a job working for Bob Kurtzman, and
he's getting called for jobs right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Next thing you know, it's like, oh, another gig, another dollar.
That's Spielberg. I'll call him back later.
That guy never stops calling.
Dude, Abrams is the worst. He just
They're calling you right now.
Oh wow!
You're about to go up. It is now. 15 minutes till his. What are you going to be talking about in this?
Well, today I'm going to just bring a lot of my props and stuff that I have displayed at my table. I'm going to bring them up and talk a little bit about the industry, talk a little bit about makeup schools and stuff like that. It's a big topic. Face Off, of course, and then talk about what I'm doing here. Just kind of sitting around. I can cuss on this, right?
Yes.
Oh, you can
trust me.
This panel's more of just shooting the shit, talking about makeup effects, and the process and stuff. I wish I had more to show and tell and do a makeup demo, but I had to fly by the seat of my pants today to get here. But
yeah, you were on a project. I mean, you're always
was on a
working,
project.
man.
Yeah, no,
I've
it's nice.
always like every time I see you, you're like, going to another gig, doing
Yeah.
another gig, You're always working. Do you just? How do you keep that momentum? How do you keep that going?
It's interesting because I could probably try a lot harder to keep momentum going, but I like having spots of like calmness, you know, where you're not working on anything.
Yeah.
And in that time, I'm working on something that I want to do, you know, or like a personal project.
What are
or
the
something.
things you want to do? I want to know because I know you've. I think at one point in time I had overheard you were saying something about something you've been kind of putting together for a while.
Yeah.
You had this big project you were putting together?
It was the Yubaba head that I have displayed at my table right now, actually.
Yeah.
I was working on that for months, and it's just a passion project. I love Studio Ghibli, and I wanted to do a character from one of those movies, because
Nice.
those movies mean a lot to me. But, you know, other than that, I've been wanting to do more realistic makeups. You know, Austin has a lot of horror. It had a big horror scene, which is awesome. And please don't hesitate to call me for horror gigs. But I come from more the Dick Smith school of mine, where it's like subtlety, realism, you know, stuff like that. Stuff that people don't really appreciate, especially after Face Off and stuff. So I want to do more of that, get into that. That's where I got started, and doing you know, old age makeups and stuff. So I want to pedal back a little bit and do more
I
of
like
that
that.
kind of stuff.
I love the idea of playing with the old age, and I would love to see you do that. I want to try and get you out sometime and see if I can get you to do old age to one of us, because I would love to see.
I would love to see.
I would,
would be
I would
fun.
love to see this guy as an old man right here.
Because-
he's the most lively and crazy. But here's the thing, like, and the way you work, you're quick.
Yeah.
I was talking to Chris about how you seem to just gun through everything, and everything looks like you spent a lot of time on it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Did you just? Is that something you rigorously try to push yourself to do?
I learned the best. Actually, I learned a lot of where to cut corners on Face Off and still make it look good. But especially with the stuff that I'm doing with in town with Johnny Bones, the director in town.
Oh yeah.
He's an incredible fantasy
Johnny.
film director, and we did a project called the Vial of Ice Come With Me music video, and we just debuted that last month, and it's been doing really, really well. But on that project specifically, there's a whole creature and there's a puppet in it, and you know, I had to get that stuff done pretty fast on a very cheap budget, but you know, it was for a guy that, you know, I really respect and love. So
exactly,
we just
He's
made
amazing.
it work.
He's amazing.
He is.
Well, speaking of fast, we gotta get you to your panel.
You gotta
thank you
get
so
out
much
here.
for coming out and talking to us.
Yes.
I'm gonna invite you again. I want to do like something where we play around and you actually get a chance to show.
Yeah.
Man, love you. I love seeing you every time. You always got a great smile, great attitude, and you're wonderful to work with.
Thank you so much, man. Same
Love
to
you much,
buddy.
man.
Thanks.
Good talking to you, buddy.
Good talking
Take
to you.
care of
too.
yourself.
sir.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys. Hopefully I get to come back and we can talk longer one day.
Oh,
Yeah, we
Have
will.
more
We
drinks.
will definitely.
Yeah.
They're great.